Hello, hope y'all are doing well. It's April 3rd, and today I'm back. So today I'm going to be talking about really a potential severe weather outbreak, or really a likely severe weather outbreak that we're going to be looking at tomorrow. Potential tornado outbreak. Uh, so yeah, I hope we're all doing very well. It is Monday, and let's go ahead and get started. So this is our day two outlook, and this looks very similar to our day two outlook that was for Friday, that was issued on Thursday last week. This looks very similar to last week's, the day two outlook preceding last week's outbreak on Friday. Two moderate risks, two moderate risks. Although this one was a little further east, but so I mean, I'm gonna say if we see these extended, I guess, to each other at 1:30 tonight or maybe 9 a.m. in the morning, if we see them connected, that's not going to be a good sign because it's what happened last week before they issued the high risk. But honestly, I don't think this is a high risk event, which I'm going to get into in just a second. Uh, so yeah, let's go and get started. I don't know why this is on the southeast. Let me go back. So we're just looking at forecast reflectivity. Okay, so we see a complex of storms tonight. I've already looked at. Okay. I'm gonna be honest. I filmed an entire like 30-minute video before this, and then for some reason, like when I tried to stop the recording with OBS, it just wouldn't stop. And then I had to close out of OBS, and then I couldn't open the video or post it on YouTube. So I've already looked at this complex a lot. So I definitely think with this we're gonna be looking for the a lot of the soundings just have a lot of like there's a lot of issues with capping. I think so. I don't think I know, but we're gonna be looking at this complex here as it moves. It's gonna really get going across Illinois. Maybe the threat for some small hail and some like some low end damaging wind threat. I wouldn't be surprised if we have like one or two reports out. But then as this moves east, I think we're gonna see it weaken pretty quickly just because we lose instability and stuff. But we can see that, and then really the main stuff. So I've already looked at this. Okay, I'm not gonna take any soundings for this up here, but north of the front, the HRRR shows a couple of storms during the day. This right here is 1 p.m. and we see it indicates like a storm right like this is way north of the front. Though we take a look at dew points. Dews are in like the low 40s. We have no surface based cape, no ML cape. We have a little bit of most unstable cape, a little bit of cape, like so I'm guessing at some level in the atmosphere. That's what we're looking at. But it's probably just it's an elevated storm pretty much. Uh, so I definitely think with any storm we see north of the front that early in the day, we could be looking at a little bit of a hail threat. I think that'll be like a large hail threat will be like one of the main issues in damaging wind. Don't think we're definitely not a tornado threat. And same thing with the storms as we go into Tuesday evening, tomorrow evening, like up in Minnesota and stuff. I think we're mainly be seeing a hail threat. I would be surprised if we see a tornado that far north, considering how it's like north of the warm front, so it doesn't really. I don't think we're gonna see much of a tornado threat, but way up there. But let's go ahead and go back over to pivotal weather here and start taking some soundings. Okay, so HRRR indicates everything started to go off by about 21Z. That this would be about 4 p.m. Let's go ahead and take a sounding. Central Illinois kind of area, Western Illinois. So there's definitely some mixing issues with this, but this is our issue here. We have this like slight warm nose at about 775 millibars. That's the issue. As that warm nose, but as that warm nose, as we go throughout the day, that warm nose does kind of gradually, I guess, fall apart, but it's still there. So that's gonna limit storm development. But we can see this is generally like a 10. Not. I mean, this is honestly not a great sounding for tornadoes. I'm more worried about the hail threat honestly than I am about the tornado threat with this sounding. Uh, the it just doesn't look. We'd see a tornado threat for sure. Easily have a tornado threat. We could easily get a tornado out of this and have it be long lived and stuff. But can we get strong tornadoes out of this? I'm not sure. I just don't think it's not that type of environment. Generally, but then as we go throughout the evening and these storms move further north, I think they will move into a little bit more of a little bit more like I guess we could say a better environment. So this would be 6 p.m. We're starting to get a little bit of capping, but much better environment up here. I think this is why we have our moderate risk, but still I don't think this is a high risk sounding by no means. But yeah, we have those little bit of capping, but other than that, these storms as they initiate further south and move into that area, I think they could have a brief chance to produce. I mean, the area I really want to pay attention to for tornadoes across like in this entire northern area here is kind of this area here. I'm thinking that's where we're gonna see most of our tornado activity if we do see it. Uh, it'll be in that area. I think it's like our best chance at seeing stuff. Uh, and then also we're gonna talk about Wednesday. Wednesday looks interesting. But let's go ahead and go further south, okay? And by the way, I will probably be live streaming at some point during the day tomorrow to cover this event. Unless like absolutely nothing happens, although I do think we're gonna see stuff. What I'm trying to get at is I don't think we're gonna see the upgrades. I think the SPC upgrades to a high risk. I think it's a bad idea. That's my opinion. I mean, I don't think. In fact, I mean, a lot of people I know now don't think it's gonna go high, but I did notice a couple like over the past couple of days though. Not as many people have been hyping this event up as actually were like last like Saturday and stuff. Right after Friday's event, everybody was just saying this event was gonna be worse. I definitely don't think it's gonna be worse. Okay, I think it's weird. I mean, we have like a high ceiling for this event, but if a couple things go wrong, then we could see practically nothing in that northern area there. I still think either way we're gonna see a severe weather threat, but we all have issues with like forcing and that type of stuff. In my opinion, with confidence, I don't think I wouldn't issue a high risk. Now, if the SPC does it, I mean, they know more than me. Okay, they know more than me. So if they do it, I'm not gonna like say they're wrong. But like if I was a SPC forecaster, well, that's what I'm trying to say is I wouldn't do it. Further south, okay. Tomorrow afternoon we do see some storms in this area. I just want to take a sounding. Our main severe weather threat's not going to be tomorrow afternoon across this area here. We're just going to see kind of like maybe some like disorganized complexes of storms. But we take a big box sounding in Arkansas, and this shows kind of what's going on here. So we have a fairly decent, a pretty well sheared environment for tornadoes here. So this would be like a 10 sig maybe. I mean, this is not a bad sounding, but there is some issues as you get over to we have a warm nose at about 700 millibars. I don't think that'd be a big issue, although that might be a hindrance for some of these storms. But other than that, though, this is not a bad sounding. I think the hail threat up north is going to be a bigger threat than down south, which I know the SPC also. That's not like a different thought. That's what SPC is going with as well. But the soundings clearly support that without having to really analyze them a lot. And then we do see some storms go off in the middle of the night. Okay, so that's going to be the issue as this front pushes through. We're going to see storms kind of get super like a forced line initiated, and then we're going to see some storms potentially in front of that once we start to get enough, I guess, forcing for them actually. Let's take a box sounding in northern Arkansas. Yeah, so this is why we have our moderate risk here. Sounding is generally, but still, I mean, this is overnight, and we still have a ton of instability, like 2,000 surface-based Cape, 2,500 ML Capes. I mean, that's pretty good. So then we're definitely going to see some supercells, probably. Not probably. We're definitely going to see some supercells across. Kind of thinking that's a massive area I'm circling. Actually, I'm going to highlight it. Okay. I kind of think maybe like this area here. Okay. Will be like the biggest risk in the southern part. I think with the line we're going to be looking at. So I'll show you what I mean like by the line. Let's pull that back up. So yeah, we see kind of like a brief line go up. I think with that we could see a tornado threat embedded, but I think with these storms in front of it, that's what we're really going to want to watch. Southern Missouri, northern Arkansas, western Arkansas, maybe even eastern Oklahoma. Right as they go up, that's what we really want to watch. And then that pretty much brings us into Wednesday, since those storms are happening overnight. So I want to start in the Midwest, because this is the area here that I think is going to be the most interesting Wednesday. So At 17Z, this would be, I don't know, 5 hours past 7. That'd be noon. Okay. We're looking at kind of just like a band of supercells on the HRRR. Not really. I mean, you can't tell if they're supercells or not. But we take a sounding. Take one in northern Michigan. Let's take a box sounding in northern Michigan. And this is actually this is pretty good. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. This is a good sounding for a good sounding for tornadoes. And further south, we can take one northeastern Indiana. It's also not bad. Let's go back an hour and take one further west. But yeah, I mean, a lot of these soundings are not bad. I mean, I honestly wouldn't. I think we're gonna see a 5% come out that includes a lot of Michigan and probably all the way down to like this area here. I think we'll have a 5% tomorrow for day one, or day 2. For that area there. Kind of. I definitely think we're gonna see a couple of tornadoes potentially. Even by 20Z, we can still see a little bit of a tornado threat. Although that Hodo is starting to get a little weird. Never seen that before. But yeah, so I wouldn't be surprised if we see that as well. Let's go further south. Also, let's take a look at the convective outlook we have right now. We have a slight risk all the way from like northern Michigan, western New York, down into like Louisiana and eastern Texas. So yeah, we pretty much see the line progress east and additional storms form off of it. Take a few box soundings. Take one in Tennessee and Kentucky. Tornado threat is definitely less. Yeah, I mean that's what I noticed while I was filming the other videos. The tornado threat as you go south decreases. Just because I mean we're so far away from the low. That's going to be an issue with the tornado threat as you go further south. It's just like a very simple issue, but I mean it's true. We don't have shear because of that. We're just going to mainly be looking at a damaging wind threat and a smaller hail threat, I think, across this area here, like the southern risk. But then further north, I think we definitely see a 5% issue tomorrow from the SPC. So real quick, I want to talk about the winter weather stuff, okay? So we have a blizzard warning from areas in Nebraska, eastern Wyoming, all the way up into, I mean, most of North Dakota and South Dakota is in this, and a good bit of like northwestern Minnesota. Although most of northern Minnesota is in the winter storm warning instead, which is in its pink colors. So let's go over to COD. I'm trying to use COD more. Okay, this is the only thing I have an issue with COD. Why can't they need to get soundings for the HRRR? If they had soundings for the HRRR that were like didn't take forever to load, which I mean some of their soundings do, but kind of depends. If they had soundings for the HRRR period though, it'd be much better. I mean I would probably use it more than pivotal weather. I mean I like pivotal weather, but like I tried to like look at stuff on my phone and it's very hard to use. Pivotal weather is like it's just because everything is so. It's like impossible to actually click the forecast loop button. Or like the to get there. It's on mobile. It's just terrible. But COD is actually much easier. But yeah, so we can see we have a lot of. By tomorrow morning, we're just already seeing that snow being dumped on eastern Wyoming, northern South Dakota. That continues throughout the day, moving north into areas like Grand Forks. Fargo is getting very close to that like sleet, freezing rain line, and then I mean we do see freezing rain and stuff like and sleet break out all the way up into like Canada and the northern tip of Minnesota there. And this is all out of here pretty much by Wednesday night. Total snowfall, we're gonna add a little bit more across this area here because we're still seeing snowfall or snow showers in the backside of the low. But look at that, 1 to 1.5 foot across many areas. I'm kind of curious what the National Weather Services have. Let's go pull that up. And this is a good thing that the pivotal weather has. You can look at National Weather Service blended models. We can look at that real quick. Although it may not go out far enough. This isn't this isn't the actual forecast, but this is their blended models. We can see like almost 2 feet near Rapid City there. But if you go to forecasts, not here. National Weather Service forecast, 48 hours snow. You see a foot to a foot and a half in areas like Fargo, Grand Forks, down into, I mean, Bismarck picking up 11 inches according to their to the National Weather Service there. So very big. This is a pretty significant winter, like I mean blizzard, I guess. Uh, with all this snow, and then wind gusts like 24-hour max wind gusts generally in the 40s, even some 50s in some areas in North and South Dakota. But yeah, that'll pretty much wrap up the video. Thank y'all for watching. And I hope to live stream tomorrow. I'll probably try to start at about 3 or 4, just to never restart to see initiation in the northern risk area, because I want to cover that. It's gonna be interesting though to see if we like what we get tomorrow. This will be a good forecasting lesson for. I know me, because this will be. I guess it's like. I mean, once again, I think I said this yesterday, but a lot of this stuff I learned with weather have come from just pretty much looking at stuff and then seeing what actually happens, and then I kind of just learn over time what everything kind of means. And other than like soundings and stuff like hodos and that type of stuff, I've watched videos, and I'm still working on my knowledge of that type of stuff. But yeah, so I'll be back tomorrow with that live stream. Please be safe tomorrow, and yeah, goodbye.